The StuG III was an assault gun produced by Germany during World War II. It was built on a slightly modified Panzer III chassis, replacing the turret with an armored, fixed superstructure mounting a much more powerful gun. Initially intended as a mobile assault gun for direct fire infantry support, the StuG III was continually modified and finally was employed as a successful tank destroyer. Approximately 10,000 StuG III assault guns of various types were produced from 1940 to 1945. More than 75% were built by the Alkett factory. The Alkett, or the Altmarkische Kettenwerke, the Altmark Track Works, was a major manufacturer of armored vehicles for the German army during World War II. The main factory was located in Borsigwalde, located in the north of Berlin. Alkett was founded in 1937 as a subsidiary of the Rheinmetall Borsig, which in turn was a subsidiary of the governmental-controlled Reichswerke Hermann Göring. Göring himself only supervised the Reichswerke, but did not own it in any sense and did not make personal profit from it directly, although at times he withdrew cash from the company for his personal expenses. With the coming of the Second World War, increased demand for armored fighting vehicles resulted in a marked ramp-up of production. Alkett obtained a site for manufacturing directly across the street from their main buildings. This factory was fully sealed and secured from the passage of outside traffic to prevent espionage. Once the war began, additional workshops were rented and a technical department was also set up. In addition, access of the yard area to the basement bomb shelter was expanded to allow for use by the civilian population. Alkett performed as designer, manufacturer, and partially exclusive licensee of some of the main armored fighting vehicles of the German army. Since 10 to 20 new tanks left the factory every day, their appearance was a very common feature of the townscape at that time. Alkett also repaired damaged tanks that were brought by rail from the front to the plant site. It is interesting to note that Alkett was the company that Major Alfred Becker worked with initially in early 1942 to help create self-propelled artillery pieces by use of captured French ammunition carriers. Becker's later work converting captured French vehicles to carry German weapons was also assisted by Alkett, which produced the steel superstructures for the vehicle Becker was modifying in France. Allied air attacks in November of 1943 resulted in the upper floors of the administration building collapsing. In November, these bombing raids had a significant impact on the production of the StuG III assault guns. This was one of the most important weapons of the German army, and Alkett was the major manufacturer. The company had produced 255 StuG III assault guns in October of 1943, but in December the number fell to just 24 vehicles. A conference to discuss alternatives was held in December of 1943. It was noted that if production could be shifted to other manufacturers, the German assault gun production could be sustained. In October of 1944, another major air raid struck the plant, resulting in the destruction of 80% of the factory. Between 3,000 and 4,000 employees worked at the Alkett plants. From 1941, foreign civilian workers from Italy and Belgium were added, who had volunteered to work in Germany. They were housed in the non-guarded barracks. The plants also made use of forced laborers. These included Poles and Russians, Yugoslavian and Italian prisoners of war. The factory was so important for the German war effort that the factory manager, Franz Hahne, was awarded the Golden Knight's Cross to the War Merit Cross with swords. The War Merit Cross, or the Kriegsverdienstkreuz, was a state decoration of Nazi Germany during the war. It was given to civilians for meritorious service in furtherance of the war effort. There was one extra grade of the War Merit Cross which was created at the suggestion of Albert Speer, but this was never officially placed on the list of national awards as it came about in late 1944, and there was no time to officially promulgate the award before the war ended. It was awarded on paper to only 2 recipients on the 20th of April 1945. One of them was Franz Hahne. A few days later, on the 23rd of April 1945, the Red Army occupied the Alkett plants. In the first month after the end of the war, the factory was dismantled by order of the Soviet military administration. But since Alkett resided in the French sector of Berlin, as stipulated by the Yalta Conference, the Soviets were unable to take everything away. With the portion of the plant had not been dismantled, the remaining machinery was used for production of much needed everyday items such as pots and buckets. In early 1948, Alkett resumed work in mechanical engineering and began receiving ore supplies. In the late 1950s, the company was renamed Alkett Maschinenbau GmbH. In 1966, at the request of the German Federal Ministry for Treasury, Alkett was incorporated into the German Industrial Equipment Company, which was in federal ownership. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and to make sure you don't miss my future work, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you, and see you in the next video.